How's it going there, folks? I'm Quinn of Snazzy Labs, and this is the video review of the DualTek Extreme for iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S. Now, this is a very rigid impact protection case for your iPhone. It retails at $39.99 US, which is not cheap, but you can find it for as low as $25 on Amazon. Now, this is supposed to compete amongst the likes of the OtterBox Defender series, the OtterBox Reflex series, and other such cases in the market, and I think it does a fairly good job. We'll test that out later in the video by doing a drop test of this case to see if the iPhone withstands the drop. Now, let's take a look at the case and its features. As you can see, each of the four corners has one of these little 3M rubber nubs, and what it's supposed to do is upon impact, move the shock through the spine of the case than rather onto the phone itself. So rather than the phone touching the sides of the case, your phone is actually only contacting these 4 points. The back is barely touching, and so you have very little contact with the case, making your iPhone somewhat hover inside. Now, one would think that would cause it to add a lot of bulk, and it does add a little, but it's not exponential. All you have to do to get your phone in is take it right there and snap it in. It's easy to get in, but it's very difficult to get out, which is probably good because if you drop it, you don't want it popping out. But I will mention that it does take quite a bit of work and tugging and pulling to get out, and so this is not going to be one you're going to want to switch out every day. Now, I do want to talk about the screen shield that's included. This is an anti-reflect screen shield that did not come with the case. It does come with a static screen shield that's clear, and it's a pretty good screen shield. It's not the best. It's amongst the likes of the Switch Easy, and it's nice that that's included, especially at the price point that it's at. Now, you have a little bit of a ridge here to allow you to grip the case if you're right-handed. It really is designed with the right-handed conscious in mind. I mean, you have these nubs here, a little grip patterns for your fingers. Now, if you're a left-handed person, this is a little bit weird. You still do have some grip, but it's just not as well designed as I think it is if you're right-handed. Now, as you can see, it looks very sharp on the back. It's made of this super rigid polycarbonate. In fact, this case is so rigid that you can barely even move the case. You do have quite a bit of distance between the top of the case and your camera, but there is no flashback, and it does take pictures just fine, which is nice. Up top, we have our headphone jack, which is pretty well cut out. There's a little bit of recession, but I found that it fit most ports pretty well, which was nice to see. Of course, you have your sleep-wake button, and you do have a pretty haptic button feel there, which is nice. You often lose that in rigid cases, so I was glad to see that. As we move to the sides, we have our volume buttons that are, again, very haptic, very clicky, and we have access to our sleep-wake button, which does require a little bit of work to reach as it's pretty deep in there. And as we move down to the bottom, we have access to our 30-pin dock connector as well as the microphone and the speaker. That's pretty much it for the case. You do have lay-on-the-table design. It doesn't add a lot of bulk. And as a rigid case, as one that's allegedly supposed to protect, I like it. I don't think it's quite as good in terms of feel and design as the OtterBox Reflex series, but other than that, I think it supersedes everything else, especially considering the OtterBox Defender, which I think is a horribly designed case. You get the best of both worlds. It's two-piece. You get the silicone on the inside, or the rubber on the inside, and you get this really tough plastic on the outside. But all is well and good until you drop it. And will the DualTek Extreme withstand the fall? I'm Quinn of Snazzy Labs, and let's do some drop tests right about now.
All right, so I'm here outside with the Pure Gear DualTek Extreme. I'm going to do 4 drops from 3 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, and a massive 22 feet. The last drop is more entertainment than actual practicality. I know most of you are not going to be dropping your phones off of roofs, but I figure we'd give it a shot. It'll be a little bit of fun, so let's begin. The first drop is going to be from about 3 feet, and I am 6'4", so while it may not look like the heights I say, it's pretty close. So 3 feet's probably about here. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to drop it on 3, 2, 1. A little bit of bouncing in there, but the phone is still recording, the camera is still fine, and we're good to go. I'm not going to pull it out because I know nothing broke. We're set and ready to go. Now let's do the next drop from 6 feet, as that should be a little bit more entertaining. 6 feet's probably about my head level, which is about right here. So 3, 2, 1, drop. Got the dog out here. And as you can see, it still works great. Screen and everything is fine, and the back is not cracked. We do have a little bit of abrasion here on the little corners, but other than that, it really is in pretty good shape. We'll do one more drop from 8 feet, and then we'll walk up to the massive 22-foot drop here. So I'm going to do this as high as I can. And as we can see, the phone is still good. The screen's fine, the back is fine, I can already tell. And so right now, for actual practicality's sake, this is a great case. I mean, it rivals the OtterBox Reflex series, it rivals the OtterBox Defender series. There's no problem protecting it. It's just a matter of size. Are you willing to go to this bigger form factor than you might find in something like the OtterBox Reflex for somewhat added protection? Now, as a last entertainment value piece, we're going to go up onto the roof and try this bad boy from 22 feet. All right, so we're here at 22 feet with our iPhone 4S and the Pure Gear DualTek Extreme. The question is, will it withstand the drop? Actually, this is the second time dropping it. The first time we dropped it, it didn't capture the recording. So hopefully this time it does. This time it didn't break. The first time it was fine. Nothing happened. So let's see if this case can take 2 drops from 22 feet. I'm going to put the phone in the case here. Slide up on the camera to press record. Get things recording. We're set and ready to go. All right. This is let's drop it this way in hopes that it doesn't hit the button. On your marks, get set, drop. All right, so this is the DualTek Extreme from 22 feet. We've already dropped it once. This was the second drop. The first drop, as I said, it didn't capture the video, so hopefully this time it did. As I mentioned earlier, this case is unnervingly difficult to get off, so give me a second here. That's good, though. It doesn't come out on the drops like most cases do. But if we pull this out here, the phone is still on, the screen still works, the back is fine, and if we go to our photos, that second drop did record. Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, it held up the test. It says no SIM, but that's because I don't have a SIM card in it right now. It's not a failure of the phone. I mean, from 22 feet, that's pretty impressive. The DualTek Pure Gear, the Pure Gear DualTek Extreme, from 22 feet twice, that's insanely impressive. The back is fine, the front is fine, and all the internals are fine. This is one of the best drops I've ever seen, especially amazing coming from a case that's quite a bit less than other such cases like the OtterBox Defender at $39.99 and moreover at $25 like you can find it on Amazon. This is an absolute buy. It doesn't add much bulk. You get an insane amount of protection. And if ever you're on the roof and you drop it, no big deal because the Pure Gear DualTek Extreme's there to back you up. I give it a Snazzy Labs Approved Award. It's awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.